Welcome back to another AC Air Technology video, and today I'm going to show you how to take off your gearbox and change it. And we're going to start off by taking off the tracks. First, you want to start off by loosening the tracks. You can loosen it with these 3 bolts right here. We can take off the tracks by hitting out one of these pins. It should pop out on the other side and you could just pull it out, and this should be able to take off the tracks. Now you want to tap out the pin on the loading side so it is easier to access, just like this. Once the pin has been tapped out, you can tap it back to the other side and you should be able to pull out the rotor clip just like this. Once the clip has been pulled out, you want to tap it again to the opposite side so you can pull out the pin from the tracks, just like this. Once you have taken off the tracks, you should be revealed with the faceplate of the railing. You can unscrew these 2 screws to take off the faceplate. Once you have unscrewed those 2 screws, you can now apply heat to this screw right here and make sure you give it good enough heat, about 20 seconds with a torch to melt the glue. And after that, you can unscrew it and take out the sprocket. After taking the sprocket off, now we can unscrew these 6 screws to take the railing off the tug and give us access to our gearbox assembly. Once you have unscrewed the sprocket, you can take off the whole railing. It should look something like this. After removing the railing, you want to flip the tug over and heat up these 3 screws too with the torch as well, since they are glued in, and you can unscrew them to unlock the motor held in place. Next, you want to cut these 2 zip ties and remove and replace your entire gearbox assembly. To pull out the gearbox, you want to simply start by pulling out these colorful wires. Should be 3 of them. Then you want to take out the motor just like this. Just pull it out. And when you're changing the gearbox assembly, you will be shipped out a new motor and gearbox without this bracket on. You want to take this bracket off and put it on the new one. After you have put the bracket on the new gearbox assembly, you can put it back into the tug and connect the motor wires. Match the wires with each color carefully. Yellow with yellow, red with red, and blue with blue. Or in some cases, the blue wire can be attached into a black one. Next, you want to flip the tug back over and lightly tighten these screws. You may have to remove them again to adjust the motor to fit the railing. Also, you must use green permanent Loctite for these screws under the tug. Next, we want to put the sprocket back on. You want to make sure to line up that squared edge with the key on the rod. Then we'll put the bearing back on, just like that. Next, you want to put your railing back on and put the screw back in. And you can screw this back in with green Loctite. Next, we want to put the plate back on and screw these 2 screws back into the tug with blue Loctite. Once you have confirmed that the railing and the track are sitting on the tug right, you can tighten these 6 screws with blue Loctite. After screwing that in, you can put the tracks back on. Make sure to put the pin through the holes and put the washer on the end. Once everything is looking good and you've put your tracks back on, you can re-tighten these 3 screws under the tug to fully tighten them. Once you have done that, congratulations, you have just replaced your gearbox assembly, and have a great time tugging.